And I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was driving delivery for Jerry's Deli, which is the most amazing job to get to know the city and the stories that, of people I delivered to. And so I'm getting to know the town. I'm slinging coffee at Coffee Bean.
Yeah.
And I see in the Daily Bruin an ad for an internship for a production company at Sony. And today they would call it stalking. But I called that poor assistant whose number was on the ad a lot. I may have sent 20 faxes with my resume. And finally she just called me and was like, I give up. I come in, read a script. And after reading scripts, I got a job as the assistant to the VP of development. Now I'm really learning how to do it.
So this is like a boot camp for you then. If you're just reading scripts as the assistant to the head of development, you're probably just learning a ton.
Yeah, I'm reading hundreds of scripts every quarter. I mean, I took a script home every night. That's really where I learned how to write.
Okay.
Just by reading scripts.
So fast forward then, how did you meet Dallas then?
So, a few stops, and I was working for Joel Silver, all in the same capacity for Susan Levine, who's now Susan Downey, Robert's wife. I was reading scripts for her, and they said to me, there's a guy across the quad, he's a writer, he's looking for an assistant. And that guy was Akiva Goldsman, and he was in the middle of his Oscar campaign for A Beautiful Mind. Right. And I pitched him an idea. He taught me how to write, and the CA picked me up, and I was now a real writer.
So give me a year.
2003.
So 2003, you're signed by Creative Artists Agency. That is one of the biggest agencies on the planet.
Yes.
You must be thinking, oh my goodness, I've arrived. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that might have been the problem.
Right.
Is that I really thought I had done something so special.
No, I see the worlds colliding here.
Because how do I bounced from a production company at Sony to Joel Silver.
Nothing but up.
They hand me off to, arguably the hottest Hollywood screenwriter of the era.
Yep.
He won the Academy Award for A Beautiful Mind. He went on to win it. And, now I'm following Akiva around to his movie sets, working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith, working on Constantine, working on iRobot, working on I Am Legend. So I was really high on me and what all I had accomplished at that point. And now I was writing a movie that was shooting in New York. I was doing production rewrites. CA was sending me on meetings. Now I was in New York, so I was taking meetings in New York, and I was going to do a film for Paramount just to do some production rewrites for 3 weeks. I just thought I was so cool.
Yeah.
And I started using effectively speed, but Adderall, to keep up with it all.
Okay.
Abusing it. I mean, right from the get-go. It's, I come from thoroughbred drinkers, right? So, I was just, I was blowing jobs.
How so? Because of the drugs?
Because of the drugs, okay. And because...
Are you drinking at this time? Or
not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Not yet. I had a breakup, and then I started drinking. So now I'm using the speed. I'm drinking a lot. It just compounded, the shell that CA dropped me during this period.
Okay.
Because I missed deadlines, just, blown off jobs.
So the drugs are really taking their toll. Drugs, and now you're drinking, drugs and drinking. And
I just couldn't, I don't think at the time I could get my head around the connection between how full of self I was, how far I'd strayed from a reliance on a higher power, how much it had all just sort of taken me.
So during this drug time, this drug and alcohol time, you're not reading the Bible. You're not acting like a Christian. Is that even on your radar at this time?
No.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, except for, being in a sort of running quarrel with God.
But you're conscious of that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, belief was never a problem. Early on in rehab, I came in, and maybe it was with my father, actually, who's a sober guy himself now, 42 years. been like, how's your relationship with God? And I was like, screw God. And he's like, okay, well, belief isn't a problem. So that I was blaming God was,
What are you blaming God for? The addiction, or that your life's not going your way, or
this
what?
turn of events from meteoric, arrival to now just like what felt like bad luck. It felt like, punishment. I was really lost, man.
Yeah, man.
And it just got worse and worse. And I drank out my savings, and a fateful juncture, my family invited me out to Wisconsin to celebrate my parents' anniversary. I got there and they had letters in their hands. And they had fooled me. It was an intervention.
I see.
So I hit my knees and asked God to help. And I landed in rehab, and almost immediately I started seeing God in things again. But yeah, I found myself on my knees asking God to just to join me. I didn't know what. I didn't think I deserved help. I don't know. Things were happening so fast, and it felt so unreal that my relation. I had no idea how far away I'd slipped until I was left just to my own devices, and the desire to drink went away. I look at it now like it's the simplest thing. I had a God-sized hole that alcohol does a really good job of filling. Like it fits that hole perfectly for me. And in the absence of the Spirit, I am capable of temporarily sort of puttying it over.